this technique, photomontage, as it demonstrated our ability as engineers, the style of a mechanic.
I don't have to explain Dada. You all know what Dada is.
Dadaism was an art movement that arose in response to the horror of the First World War. The movement was cultivated around the rejection of the ideals of social movements that lead towards the catastrophe. World War I was an incredibly traumatizing period of the human history that was the introduction to new technology and the misery of humans. It is said it was one of the most deadliest conflicts in human history. This was the beginning of the fall of modernism and the beginning of the rise of postmodernism. The general feeling of disgust, shame, anger, and distrust and Dada respond to this by completely rejecting all notions of meaning within the art. It was an anti-art movement. It both hated the world and wanted to save it at the same time. If you think about it, it's only logical for humans during that hard period of time to express themselves this way through art. They embraced the nonsense and the illogical side of the human mind. It was both creative and destructive. It was both a concealer and a revealer of truth. Moreover, it embraced chaos within the huge element of chance, and they believed by introducing this element to the humans, it allowed room for the unconscious minds to reveal and speak their truth. There were also elements of humor within Dadaism, since it was a form of art that fully embraced the absurd and madness, revealing hypocrisy and meaningless in everyone. Dada was a national reaction. Dada was an artistic movement which appeared during the First World War period. It began in 1916 in Zurich, Switzerland. In the years before World War I, Europe appeared to be losing its hold on reality. Dada was designed to be misunderstood. It defines expectations that the world had for art, only to promote confusion. It was basically the representation of the exact opposite of everything which art stood for. And people liked it that way. When art was concerned with traditional aesthetics, structure and knowledge, Dada completely ignored them. If art was to appeal to sensibility, Dada indeed to force and insulted. The rejection of rationality, logic, prizing nonsense and institution. The main and probably the most important feature of that phenomenon was the idea of chance. The definition of the word Dada is still unclear, as there are many theories of where the word came from. Richard Harsbilk, a member of Dada group, claimed that he found the name by planning a knife at the dictionary, which laid in the word Dada. That means hobby horse in French, and in other languages it has a totally different meaning. In German it means goodbye, and in many other languages too. But how did Dada became such a huge phenomenon so quickly. In Zurich, Switzerland, in 1916, Cabaret Voltaire, a meeting spot for artists and poets, was opened by Hugo Ball and Amy Hennig. The artists could show how ironic and expressive they are by creating something beyond reason. That had suddenly appeared in every each form of art, such as films, noise music, poems.
I write a manifesto and I want nothing. Yet I say certain things, and in principle I'm against manifestos, as I'm also against principles. The principle, love thy neighbor, is an hypocrisy. Know thyself is utopian but more acceptable, since it embraces wickedness. No pity. Even after this carnage, we still retain the hope of a purified mankind. I speak only for myself, since I do not wish to convince. I have no right to drag others into my river. I am against action. For continuous contradiction, for affirmation too, I am neither for nor against. And I do not explain because I hate common sense. Some people think they can explain rationally, by thought, what they think. But that is extremely relative. Psychoanalysis is a dangerous disease.
As well as some famous artwork. For example, Mona Lisa with a mustache, made by Marcel Duchamp in 1919, and more crazy art pieces such as fashion and poetry while wearing a cardboard tube by Hugo Ball. Dadaism might seem as a crazy phenomenon and something that should not be actually a representation of an art form. But that's what makes Dadaism such a special period of time. And many people could actually identify with that form and create something in their own and be part of the art society.